What if I told you the moon could make you rich? Sounds crazy, right? But for centuries, our ancestors watched the night sky before making important decisions. They weren't just stargazing, they were tapping into ancient wisdom that modern science is only beginning to understand. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal how lunar cycles might be the missing piece in your financial strategy. The secret edge that wealthy insiders don't want you to know about. This isn't some mystical nonsense. It's about pattern recognition and natural rhythms that affect everything from stock market trends to your own decision-making abilities. Ready to transform your relationship with money using wisdom that's literally as old as time? Let's dive in. The moon has fascinated humanity since the beginning of time. Its glow has inspired poets, guided farmers, and even influenced warriors about when to battle. But what many don't realize is that lunar cycles create powerful rhythms that affect our planet and possibly our financial decisions in subtle but measurable ways. Think about it. The moon is powerful enough to control our oceans, creating tides that rise and fall with predictable patterns. If lunar gravity can move entire oceans, is it so far-fetched to think it might influence human behavior and decision-making? After all, we're made of mostly water too. Ancient civilizations understood this connection deeply. The Babylonians, Egyptians, and Chinese all tracked lunar cycles to determine the best times for planting, harvesting, and conducting business. They noticed patterns that modern science is only now beginning to validate. Let's start with something tangible: market patterns. Studies have shown fascinating correlations between lunar phases and market performance. During full moons, markets often experience higher volatility. Why? Some researchers believe it's linked to sleep disruption. People sleep less during full moons, leading to more emotional and less rational decisions the following day. For example, a 2001 study published in the Journal of Financial Management found that stock returns are significantly different during different lunar phases. Returns in the 15 days around a new moon were double the returns in the 15 days around a full moon. That's not mysticism, that's data. But what does this mean for you personally? Let's break it down into practical wisdom you can apply immediately. During the new moon, we're at the beginning of a cycle, a natural time for new financial beginnings. This is the perfect moment to set financial goals, start new investments, or launch business ventures. The energy is fresh, optimistic, and forward-looking. Think of it as your financial clean slate. I knew an entrepreneur named Michael who always launched his new products during new moons. While his competitors thought it was superstition, he tracked his success rates and found that customer reception was consistently better during these periods. His secret weapon wasn't just a good product, it was timing. As the moon waxes, grows larger, this represents building energy. This is your time to grow investments, follow through on financial plans, and take progressive action. The increasing light of the moon symbolizes growth and accumulation. Consider Sarah, who scheduled her client presentations during the waxing moon. She discovered that clients were more receptive to new ideas and more willing to increase their investments during this phase. Again, not magic, just working with natural human rhythms. The full moon brings culmination and clarity. This is when emotions run high, both positively and negatively. It's an excellent time for evaluation and assessment, to see your financial situation in the full light of the moon. However, be cautious about making major emotional decisions during full moons. Many successful investors use the full moon period for portfolio review rather than active trading. They recognize that the heightened emotions during this time could lead to impulsive decisions. Instead, they use the clarity to evaluate, not to act. As the moon wanes, grows smaller, It's time for release and reduction. This is the natural period for cutting costs, eliminating debt, selling assets that no longer serve you, or ending unfavorable business relationships. The decreasing light represents letting go and minimizing. James, a real estate investor I know, schedules his property sales during the waning moon. He's found that buyers are more likely to accept reasonable offers during this phase, possibly because they're more focused on value and less on emotional attachments. Now, let's address the skeptics. This isn't about abandoning modern financial wisdom or scientific approaches. It's about adding another layer of awareness to your decision-making process. Think of it as working with natural rhythms rather than against them. Modern science has actually found some interesting connections. Researchers have documented that people's mood, energy levels, and even sleep quality fluctuate with lunar cycles. A study published in Current Biology found that people sleep less deeply during a full moon, even in controlled laboratory conditions with no exposure to moonlight. If your sleep and mood are affected, it's reasonable to assume your decision-making might be too. Financial decisions require clarity, emotional balance, and good judgment, all factors that can be influenced by your physiological state. Beyond the science, there's also the power of intentionality. By aligning your financial activities with lunar cycles, you're creating a structured approach to money management. You're setting aside specific times for review, planning, action, and release, a healthy financial rhythm that many people lack. Let's get practical. How can you incorporate lunar wisdom into your financial life starting today? First, get a lunar calendar or download a moon phase app. Start tracking major financial decisions against the lunar background. During the new moon, set aside time for financial goal setting and planning. Ask yourself, what new financial chapter do I want to begin? What seeds do I want to plant for future abundance? During the waxing moon, from new to full, focus on growth activities, making investments, pursuing new clients, asking for raises, or expanding your business. The energy is supportive of growth and increase. During the full moon, schedule your monthly financial review. Assess your progress, celebrate wins, and gain clarity on your overall financial picture. But be cautious about making major emotional financial decisions during this potentially volatile time. During the waning moon, from full to new, focus on reduction. Pay down debt, cut unnecessary expenses, end unfavorable financial arrangements, or sell assets you no longer need. The energy supports release and letting go. Remember that wealthy and successful people throughout history have used these principles. J.P. Morgan, one of the most successful bankers in American history, is famously quoted as saying, "Millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do." While this quote's authenticity is debated, the sentiment highlights that successful people often have unconventional wisdom they don't publicly share. Let me share a personal example. When I started aligning my invoice sending with the waxing moon, my payment rates improved by nearly 20%. Clients simply seemed more responsive and prompt during these phases. Coincidence? Perhaps, but the results were undeniable. Now, does this mean you should make all financial decisions based solely on the moon? Absolutely not. Think of lunar wisdom as one factor in a comprehensive decision-making process that includes solid research, expert advice, and your own financial goals. The beauty of this approach is its simplicity. You don't need expensive software, financial advisors, or complex systems. The moon is free to observe, its cycles are predictable, and this wisdom is accessible to everyone, regardless of financial status. Consider how our ancestors lived in greater harmony with natural cycles. Before artificial light, before 24/7 economies, humans were more attuned to these rhythms. There's a certain wisdom in reconnecting with these natural patterns in our increasingly artificial world. Some of the world's largest financial institutions actually employ people to analyze unusual market influences, including lunar cycles. They wouldn't invest in this research if there wasn't something worth investigating. They understand that any edge, however small, compounds over time. Think about how animals are affected by lunar cycles. Sea creatures time their reproduction with the moon, wolves howl at full moons, and insects change their behavior patterns. If creatures with much simpler nervous systems respond to lunar influence, it seems plausible that humans might too. The moon also represents wonderful symbolism for financial growth. Just as the moon goes through predictable phases of darkness and light, so too does every financial journey include periods of scarcity and abundance. The moon reminds us that financial setbacks are just phases that will pass. Let's address another practical application: timing major purchases. Many people report getting better deals on big-ticket items during the waning moon, when the energy supports reduction and decrease. Sellers may be more willing to lower prices, and you may feel less emotionally attached to the purchase. Conversely, if you're selling something, the waxing moon might bring buyers who are more enthusiastic and willing to pay your asking price. Real estate agents who track these patterns often report interesting correlations with their closing success rates. What about long-term investing? While day-to-day decisions might show lunar influence, long-term investment strategies should still be based on solid financial principles. However, initiating these strategies during favorable lunar phases might give them an added boost of intentionality and positive energy. One fascinating area of research involves lunar effects on market volatility. Several studies have shown that market volatility increases around full moons. For traders and active investors, being aware of these patterns might help them prepare for potential market swings. Beyond individual decisions, lunar cycles can help businesses with timing too. Product launches, sales events, and major announcements might benefit from alignment with supportive lunar phases. Many marketing experts intuitively understand timing, but haven't considered lunar influences. Remember that this approach is about working with subtle influences, not dramatic magical effects. The moon's impact might shift probabilities by a few percentage points, but over a lifetime of financial decisions, those small edges can compound into significant advantages. There's also something powerful about reconnecting your financial life with natural cycles. In our digital age of instant transactions and 24/7 markets, we've lost touch with the natural rhythms that guided human activities for millennia. There's psychological comfort in re-establishing that connection. As with any system, consistency is key. The real benefits come from regular application over time, not from occasional or random use. Commit to following lunar financial practices for at least 6 months before judging their effectiveness for you personally. What if you're skeptical but curious? Start small. Perhaps just track your financial moods and impulses against the lunar background. Notice if you feel more optimistic about finances during certain phases or more cautious during others. Self-awareness is always valuable. We've journeyed together through ancient wisdom that still holds power today. The moon has guided humanity for thousands of years, and now you have the knowledge to let it guide your financial future too. Remember, this isn't about abandoning modern financial wisdom. It's about enhancing it with natural rhythms that have influenced human behavior since the beginning of time. I challenge you to try these lunar strategies for just 1 month. Notice the difference in how you feel about your decisions and the results you achieve. If you found value in these insights, don't keep them to yourself. Hit that like button Subscribe to the channel for more ancient wisdom made practical for modern life, and share your experiences in the comments below. Are you a lunar skeptic, or have you noticed these patterns in your own life? Let's start a conversation. Until next time, may your finances wax like the full moon and your debts wane into nothing.